I spent over 2 weeks building a carrot farm so big it broke a world record. But why? Well, it all starts 10 years ago. Back on my PlayStation 4, I used to make these mini game worlds to host online. And one of my fondest memories being a simple hide and seek map where I hid in a carrot farm. Since then, I've tried to put carrots in everything I built. There was always a carrot somewhere, a little orange Easter egg. But once I switched to Java, that part of me got left behind. But today, I take it back. I just finished my exams and I was itching for something to do. So I did what any rational person would do, and I built a carrot farm that outputs over 1.5 million carrots every day. And now we're breaking the world record. Okay, well, we have some major progress. Um, as you can see, our villagers are starting to spread. There's a small problem because right now we have a farm starting, and it's pretty slow because villagers are stupid. But there is an issue. There's no collection system, and what I want to do is use allays. So every second, composter would be also an allay station because allays can pick up items 32 blocks, and I place every composter in every chunk because of the 9 blocks radius that villagers have with composters, whatever. I need to get some allays first. And I thought instead of putting this into the same montage that I would put making this entire farm, because I would imagine that since the intro and now would just be like a simple like 10-second montage or cut or whatever of me making this farm, because otherwise I've been recording everything for nothing. Nothing's really been happening, but you know, someone can hope that I might be actually using all the hours of footage that I have making this farm. Hello. I need to get some allays first. And for that, I'm probably gonna have to look at the seed map. Okay. And then outpost. Okay, tell me there's allays here. Oh no. Oh my god, allays, yes. It's on me. It's running here. Oh, no, it's running here. Excuse me? That's fine. Surprisingly, that worked. Let me just dump all of that. Now I actually just have to get the LA stations working, so I have to look up how to do that again. The LA stations have been set up, um, but now the now this farm is a mess. I mean, it is a mess. There's just villagers running around, and LA's flying out, and iron golems just everywhere. The carrots are barely in any shape or form. There's still pigs around here for some reason. These things aren't even properly set up yet. Like all of these LA stations will eventually like pour out into one centralized storage system, carrot hub, if you will. And it's gonna look even more like a mess. I mean, just look at this. That's enough for about 1 million items. So I still need to finish the collection system for that. But now I've come to the next problem, and that is the modules. So I did the zero tick farm over here, and that's working fine. The one thing I don't have for it is the bone meal farm. I thought that wait is the bone meal farms, so I ran out of bone meal very quickly. So now I kind of have to choose: do I want to make bone meal farms or do I want to make modular villager farms? And I think the reason why I'm sort of debating this is because both of those are going to be absolutely horrible because there's just so many of them and so much of the same thing, repeating boring things, even when I'm watching shows in the background or doing something else while I'm also doing the farms. This is going to be the boring part for me at least. Like making this entire area has been fun. It's been stupid. Make me smile. And uh, hmm, just imagining repeatedly making the same thing over and over again. Something that I don't even enjoy doing very much. That one's gonna suck. Just understand that my FPS drops 50% while I'm being here. Right now it's at like oh god, I can't even lift off 45, and when I go back to base, it shoots to 120. Like I am not over exaggerating that my computer is not liking this project very much. So I'm not gonna be recording the entire thing, unfortunately. So you've heard me talk about modules and farms, so I think it's time I start explaining what I'm actually building here. This is a three-phase farm, with phase 1 being the bottom LA layer I just finished. Phase 2 and 3 are where the real work comes in. The modules I've been referring to are automatic villager crop farms. I'm planning to build 4 modules per layer and stack 10 layers to have 40 modules per tower, and I will then build 5 towers to have around 200 modules, with 300 villager slaves inside of them. The other farm I've been thinking about is the zero-tick crop farm. Now, let me clarify, because I am not building a zero-tick carrot farm. I was being an idiot, and I messed up the name. I'm building a micro farm, and this micro farm will require bone meal input to keep it running 24/7, but that's phase 3, that's a problem for future me. For now, we're gonna be working on the villager modules for phase 2. Oh, I'm still so tired. I've only been working on this for like 5 days. I'm not nearly done. Because I don't just wanna fill up this this chest area, because this would be a million carrots. If all these chests are filled, that's a million carrots, a bit more. And then all of the hoppers and these chests would be like, I don't know, a million and a couple thousand carrots, which is nice, but I feel like that's not good enough. It's so unclear on what the actual record is that yeah, I'm debating on how I'm really gonna plan this. But what I might do is instead like collect all of this and then feed it into an overflow station that like burns the excess carrots, and then instead of trying to store like 10 million carrots, I'll just have a production that's like thousands of carrots per minute. I don't know. If I have like 5 of these stations all going to 10, that would be 200. This one layer is for villager stations, so that would be 200 villager stations in the sky. Um, Many stations below here, and then if I can feed into this automatic farm like a bunch of bone meal farms, I think I can have like a production speed of like well over thousands of carrots per minute, which should hopefully do the trick. I I'm not sure. The thing is, this is the server I'm playing on, so it's not single player, so I can't just look up what the production speed of villagers are because they slow down depending on frame rate, tick speed, and all of that. So it's never going to be 100% certain, and that's fine. This entire record is not 100% certain. There is a lot of ambiguity, so I'm going to be playing on that. If I find out the average speed of one of these modules, then times 4, times 10, times 5, so 200 of those, and then actually let me do that right now. Okay, so let's say one floor of this is about 850 an hour. 850 times 10 times 5, with 42,000 carats per hour. Divided by 60 is 700, roughly 700 carats a minute. I don't know if that's good enough for me. Well, okay, now that's only these. So this one, if I am to believe this, yeah, I actually might be able to believe that this micro farm will produce about 15 to 30,000 crops an hour. Which combine that with the 40,000 crops per hour from this one will put me over the 1,000 carrots per hour, well above it. And then we haven't even taken the yield of the ground floor into account, which we are going to say that that is our like spillage. So if this doesn't produce 42,000, if this doesn't produce 20,000, then the difference will be made up by the ground floor. So we're not going to take the ground floor into consideration for these calculations because we're going to assume that the ground floor will just separate the difference from our expected and our actually delivered output. And, and we might be wrong in the calculations, like we might actually achieve like, I don't know, 50,000 crops an hour if you include this bottom layer, but we're not going to just because we're not doing an exact science. We're not gonna know exactly what goes wrong. For all you know, one of the hoppers isn't set up correctly, so there's a lot of things that could potentially go wrong. So having this fallback on our calculations would be nice. So we're not gonna count on this ground layer to produce anything. We're just gonna count on this ground layer to assume the difference of anything that goes wrong with these farms. But that requires me to actually make 200 of these and actually make all of these automatic bone meal farms. And if we give ourselves the months to work on this, should actually work out perfectly that by the end of the month we will have the output of what's it called, like 100,000 crops an hour. No, we have 40,000 plus 30,000, so 70,000 crops an hour. Okay, actually let me calculate how long it would take to get a million crops then. So it would take 14 let's say 15 hours to get a million carrots. Well, that can't be right. Well, let me do that again, but in the reverse to 17,000. 70,000 times 50 is a million. Okay. If we get this right, we will get a yield of over a million carrots a day. It would be like 1.5 million carrots a day if we finish everything that we wanted to finish on this farm, which is insane. I can explain to you how insane it actually is. Oh my god. Oh my god. I well, just to get a rough frame of reference, that is a million carrots. If we take into account that this is a million carrots, we will be producing this every 15 hours. This amount of carrots, 15 hours. Every 15 hours. This is what the what? That realization you just saw was real. When I started this project, I had no idea how much I would actually make. So when I found that out, I was genuinely shocked. I looked up previous records and found a couple of results, but there was no clear answer. In records like this, I think we apply the Shardy principle to each other. Nobody is going to write down who has the current record. It's not that important. And I'm also not doing this because I want the record. This is just a love letter to a silly orange vegetable. However, yes, this farm will be producing 1 million carrots every 14.3 hours. To understand just how insane it is, I found a couple comparisons. If a person were to eat 3 carrots a day, it would take 913 years to eat 1 million carrots. In Minecraft terms, that is, a player needs to eat a carrot every 30 seconds in survival to keep up with the saturation. That's 2 carrots a minute, or 2,000 carrots every 16 hours. Real life hours. My farm will feed 500 players non-stop. And just the little cherry on top, this farm produces 20 carrots every second. That means in the time that you've watched this video up until this point, this farm will have produced, yeah, I don't know, I've actually produced up until this point because this is in me in editing, but just the number will be on screen. and it will be insane, most likely. But that's only gonna happen if I actually finish the farm, so let's get back into that. Hmm. So the funniest thing happened. It's it's 2 a.m. I have 3 pillars and I'm starting on the fourth one, and I realized something. This should be a slab. So I'm looking like why isn't what did I do wrong? What did I do differently? And it's one block too low. These need to be moved one higher and oh my god. Oh. So I finished the fourth tower, and you might have some rendering issues now, but that's besides the point. I started working on like the fifth tower now, and I'm gonna have to do another resource strip because I'm running low on dirt again. And I just want to say, you might have noticed that already. I found how to like use distant horizons on my account, and I'm happy now. But it's hard to keep working instead of just flying around and exploring everything, and so you can have like a beautiful horizon in the background. One more tower to go, and then the macro farm, and we'll level done. So I'm personally unsure about how long the macro farm would take. Like I don't know how many bone meal farms I would need. I haven't calculated all of that. Kind of hope it's not as much as I had to do here because I am ready to be done. And that's just I am ready to be done with this. I have so much other shit I wanna do, and I just not like I recently got a bunch of new games from Steam because of the summer sale. It's like, oh, I wanna play those games, but I am busy with this project, so I can't. Which means it's annoying. It's really annoying. Hello, Witchform. So yeah, I might rush through things now, get things done quick, so I can actually move on. Because as much fun as it was to work on this, it's kind of lost its charm after 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really remember when exactly I started. But oh well, more work for me. Hopefully it will be done soon and I can actually move on. I am really, really ready to move on. Guys, hold on, guys. I am so excited because I think this is gonna be the final shulker box of dirt that I'll have to gather before I'm done with the project. I'm halfway done with the last tower. I'm floor 6 right now, or 7. I don't quite remember. Let me actually see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I just finished the dirt on floor 7, which means just one more shulker box of dirt should be all I need because the bone meal farms would not require dirt, I think. Or at least I'll have enough leftover dirt for those farms. But it's happening. I'm getting closer to it being done, and I'm so happy. Oh my god, you really do not understand how long I've waited for me to not have to do resource gathering anymore. At least not for. Oh my. Hell, I just realized I might still have to do resource gathering for the bone meal farms. Fuck, fuck, fuck. As you may have noticed by now, the fatigue has really kicked in. This project has sucked the life out of me, and I still had so much to do. At this point, I had been pulling the exact same module for days while gathering resources, and that actually became the most annoying part towards the end. Projects like this can catch you off guard with how exhausting they can be. I started this because I didn't want to sit still for a couple of days. I was still in fight or flight mode from my exams, but the exams ended 10 days ago at this point in the timeline, and I was not feeling up to it. At multiple points, I wanted to take a break or call it off, since nobody would really care if I did. But I kept going. I was too stubborn to give up, and whether that was the right choice is up for debate. Last night, I finished the 5th tower, so now I have all 5 towers complete. And I was so relieved. I was like, okay, I'm almost done. There's the bone meal farms, that's gonna be the easy part. Now, I don't know if you're as stupid as me, but apparently bone meal farms are really complicated. And I didn't realize that. And so after I got done and I was laying in bed, I decided to look up how to how much I would have to do. And I decided to go with the El Mango bone meal farm, which produces between 6,000 and 7,000 bone meal per hour, which is great because the dispensers, each of these dispensers uses 5 bone meal a second. So I would need 18,000 bone meal per hour per dispenser, which just means 3 bone meal farms per dispenser, which I thought that's really doable. It's easy. And then I looked at the material list and I realized how fucked I was. It's, if I have to make a nine bone meal farms with that material list, I'm gonna need to do a lot more material gathering. Now, maybe you remember how happy I was that I was done with material gathering. And I have to do it so much more. I just did an overnight AFK session, so I now have hopefully enough iron. I'll have enough redstone too because of my witch farm right there. Um, I think the biggest problem is gonna be quartz and stone and lava, I guess. Well, okay, the lava will be fine. I'm more worried about the stone because I don't have a beacon. So mining like a shulker box of stone is gonna be a pain in the ass, and then getting all the quartz needed for how many stacks of observers is it? 1.5 stacks per farm, that's 9. It's like 16 stacks of observers. So it's just a lot of resource gathering now, and I'm really unhappy about that. I really thought this was gonna be the final stretch. But I was so wrong. I'm a fool. I'm a foolish fool for thinking I will be close to being done. I am building the bone meal farm, the first module of it. Might be a good time to give you all an update on what I'm doing. So, bone meal farm in the works. This is the first module. I need to build 9 of these. It's a pain in the ass. I will not lie. I need to think. Yeah. So the one thing I've realized is the amount of cobblestone that I'm gonna need for all the components. I thought it would be a non-issue, but I already ran out. So I probably have to make some form of cobblestone generator farm, whatever. But I've been gathering resources for like 2 days. It's fine. It's painful, but it's mostly right now the issue is going to be the cobblestone for all the redstone components. And besides that, I think we're fine. So now it's just a lot of work to finish all of these farms. And I still barely understand. I don't know why we need to have this glass here. Apparently there's a good reason for it. I'm too far into the project to really question anything anymore. So I'm just gonna keep building until I'm done. I've also lost the ability to really communicate. It's also 40 degrees outside. This is not normal for me. I'm dying of the heat like everyone else right now. I'm building, I'm hungry, I'm hot. I'm struggling, we're almost done, I think. Just need to finish the bone meal farms and then we're done. And I'll be happy. And we won't question this. Huh. I smell riches. Anyways, see you guys on the other side of the war. Hamilton. So, when I was trying to sleep last night, I realized something. Hoppers have a set speed, and I did some looking up, and apparently hoppers can move 2.5 items a second, or that's 0 0.4 items seconds per item, while dispensers do 0.2 seconds per item. Hold on. You, you get what I mean. Hoppers are twice as slow as dispensers, and we're gonna have three dispensers. With this one hopper line, that's not gonna work. I was thinking about what the best way to do it is, and what I might have to do, and I didn't really want to do that, is make three separate towers for these. So tower 1, tower 2, and then tower 3 maybe, I don't know. And then have all of them lead into a single dispenser instead of having one big tower that can lead into all three. And then use hopper minecars and ice tracks. So instead of this, this would be a hopper minecart leading into a dispenser, leading into an ice bath, into the first dispenser. So these three, and then second three would go into the other dispenser, and then the last three would go into the last dispenser, which hopefully should actually, well, which should be enough mathematically. I think. I hope. Yeah, that sucks. I hadn't considered that, and before I started building. Um, um, I just logged in with my with my alt account to use like as like a camera, and and what the fuck is going on? I I don't I what the fuck is going on? I don't understand. I don't know. I don't what this it has to be like something wrong with one of the resource packs, right? But I have no idea what. There's nothing new in here. What? Oh, let me show you what my main looks like. Hold on, game capture. Let me show you the other one. It is yeah. This is on my main account, but when I look at my alt account, it's this. I don't. What? How is this possible? I'm sorry. I'm gonna take some screenshot of this though. But what the fuck? um um. The worst part is the Distant Horizons isn't broken, so it's what the fuck? No, genuinely, what? This gave me a heart attack. It gave me a heart attack. That's fixed. Okay, that's that's great. Um, so now if I just go around every one of these farms and turn them on, and oh, probably make like a centralized switch for this. But for now, that's not really necessary. This is just working now. Um, so I do remember I did this. So I need to clear that one out. Oops, just the Texas. Open my card. Perfect. Oh, just here I don't need it anymore. I just need one more copper. Put it right there. Take a couple of carrots. And since this microform is already active, all I have to do is I'm gonna turn up my sound before I go crazy. All I have to do is eat first. Hold on, let me just and okay. I am pretty sure I am now is on. Just making sure everything's yeah. Okay. I believe that I'm now is right. That okay, this is waiting, I guess. I am I think I'm stalling because I know that right now I am producing 1.5 million carats a day. That's, I know it doesn't seem like it right now, but that's because there's a hopper minecart below this that's catching up most of the carrots. When wow, I I huh. Sorry, this is a weird this is weird because this is just the end right now. I did it. I've been doing this for 2 weeks, so to now be done it's a strange feeling. Let's just here we have chestnuts, but let's just take a little flight around here because Doniel farms all for this little micro farm and then these towers. I'm not gonna fly too far away from these because I don't want to accidentally deload them. So the towers and then the villagers and I yeah it, it doesn't I don't feel done. Doesn't feel any different. It's just I'm done now. It doesn't really feel special. I hey I am I'm producing the world record carrots right now. So that's you know that's something. So why don't I feel done? I wanted to show the final couple minutes uncut, so you could see my actual reaction to being done. I wasn't hit by a wave of relief or satisfaction. I felt the same, as if it was just another day, but it wasn't. It wasn't a major achievement, but it all just felt the same. You could see me struggle to process it, like there was no weight lifted. And even now, as I'm writing the last line of the script, when I'm editing the last minutes of this video, I feel nothing. I could go on a big speech about progress, self-fulfillment, hiding your feelings behind work, but I won't, because I wouldn't be genuine. I won't fake some spiritual clarity from this inning. I did something big, and I feel normal, and that's okay.